Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm super excited to film for you the DIY Mommy's January Organization DIY and Decor Challenge. And what she wants us to do is to show you a DIY or a type of decor that relates to organization. So I had to really put my thinking cap on for this challenge. I love to organize and I love to DIY, but I don't generally mix the two. So here's what I came up with. Today I'm going to show you a to-do board that I've made in the past, and so I'm going to take you through the process of how I make it with my husband's help, and then at the end I'm going to give you some ideas for how to use it. So first off, I want to tell you that my husband started with, and I'm going to read this to you because I'm not the woodworker, 11¼ inch by 48-inch board. It's a pine board. He cut it down to 39 inches, and then he sanded all the surfaces, and he used his router to make 2 keyhole slots in the back to hang it with. So I'm going to show you the board before I get started. And then the first thing that I'm going to do is paint the board completely black on the top and all the sides. And then I'm going to do a paint treatment that you might have seen me do before. It's going to look distressed, so I'll show you that. And let me show you the board before I get started. It's nice and sanded smooth, and I'm going to show you the keyholes that he did on the back. Right here and here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint this black all over. I'm using apple barrel black in the matte finish and a medium-sized foam brush. So I'm going to get started putting this black coat on. Nothing super fancy, just make sure you cover the whole board. I have my coat of black all painted on here, including the sides, and it's dry. I wanted to give you a little tip here. Underneath my board I've put canned goods. I've used canned beans, and that gives me a nice way to get my project up in the air so I can paint the sides without it sticking to my drop cloth. The next step I'm going to do is I have some white paint. You can use any white craft paint. I've just picked this Michaels brand, I believe it is, Craft Smart, and it's a matte finish. So I have a smaller sponge brush this time to give me more control, and I'm just going to be putting a white coat over it. Now, I did allow it to dry all the way because I want my top coat to look more white, but if you let it a little bit wet, you'll get more of a gray color on top. So it all depends on what you want. So I'm going to show you my technique for this. I'm going to start at the top here. Okay, just get some paint on my brush, and I'm gonna lightly paint. So I want some of the black to show through so that it looks like it's distressed. And if you don't get it the way you want it, don't panic or worry. You kind of have a little bit of time with this white paint to play with it, just keeping it wet, and you'll kind of have a wet edge, if that makes sense. So that's going to be my next step. I'll show you a little bit of this in case you've never done this technique, just so you can see what I'm doing. It is turning a little bit gray. It all just depends on how long you let that dry. So if I had gone at it when it was still a lot of wet, I would have an even more grayish color. See how I just keep that wet edge and then I can keep working my paint into it. Okay, I have the white all done on the top now, so you can see how that looks. And next, I'm gonna just dabble some white on the edges. So I'm gonna try to film that for you and show you how I do that. Just kind of take my paintbrush and do like this, and then maybe drag it through a little bit and let some of the black show. Okay, I've got everything painted at the end here. I'm just gonna take an almost dry brush, just kind of get up some of the last little bits of paint and just kind of blend everything together to make it look more like it's really a weathered piece of board. So just kind of rubbing that all together and smoothing things out at the end gives it a nice little finished look. My next step is I have these letters and my to-do words printed out on my computer, and I've laid them out. Actually, my husband did this for me. He's the one who's super good at this. And he just spaced everything evenly in between and from the edge. So depending on the font you use, you'll have to do some math and figure that out. So the next thing I'm going to do, well, let me tell you that he just put it down with blue painter's tape so it won't hurt the paint. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my artist graphite paper. This is just a simple way for me to do things like this since I do not have a Cricut, and I'm going to show you on one here in the middle. I have some different pieces of the graphite paper cut out. Let's take a big piece here. Wants to curl up. Okay, and then I'm just using that tape as a little hinge. So you just want to make sure that you have the print side down. So I'll show you on a piece here. The side, see, that's used, but you can use it over and over. The side with the darker black goes down. And then you just simply take a pencil and press firmly down on your pattern. And that will put that right on the board for you. So normally I would start at the top, but I just wanted to be able to show you here up close. And then I just flip that over, make sure, see how everything is right there? And then I'll be able to outline that with a black Sharpie. And then I'll fill it in with black paint. Here's what it looks like after I've outlined my letters with a black Sharpie. So now I can just fill it in with paint. Just wanted to give you a close-up of me painting in this letter here. So I have the outline all done with my Sharpie, and it makes it real simple to just fill in the paint. It's like coloring in the lines. Here we go. I have all my painting done. Now you'll notice I left my little pattern attached. I did that on purpose in case there's any part of the letter or words that you couldn't see. You can always flip that back over because it'll be exactly in the same spot, and you can put your graphite paper in there and retrace. I've had to do that before. So I leave those attached till the very end. So I'm about ready to detach those, and then the next step will be tomorrow. My husband is going to help me with the next step. We're ready for the next step here. My husband's going to help me. I wanted to show you what we're using. These are called spare parts antique silver hinge clips. They come 12 in a package. They're marked $6, but I always get a 40% off coupon at Hobby Lobby. That's where we get them. Here's what they look like. And then to install them, my husband's using his trusty drill. And then these wood screws, they are number 4, 1/2 inch, zinc plated. And we found out this weekend that they're cheapest at Walmart. He got some at Lowe's and they were way more expensive. Okay, so he's going to show you how to install this. Okay, that's all there is to it. Now he measured already to line that up, and he's getting ready here. He's going to measure between each one. He's better at all of that, so he does all that for me. So that's pretty much all there is to that, and I'll show you what it looks like after he's got it all put together. Okay, hubby's all done putting the little clippies on, and I've put some 3x5 cards on so you could see what it looks like. And then I'll have my hubby take a picture with me for my thumbnail, and maybe even holding it up at the end so you can see the whole thing together. So the cards that I showed were just blank 3x5 cards, but of course you could use the lined 3x5s. And also they do come in different colors. I have some green ones, and I have blue ones, pink ones. So you can look for, if you want to do this project, you could look for the other color of cards, and you could even color code your days for a different task if you wanted to, or you can just use the plain white ones, or you can just cut up your own paper, whatever works for you, whatever you want to use. So I wanted to give you some ideas for organization, how you could use this board, or you could make up your own thing on paper. You don't have to use this board to get organized, but you could make out different chores for each day of the week and keep the cards there all the time until you change your chores. But just things you want to do, like if you want to have a schedule, you want to do laundry on certain days, you could fill that in on those days. And if you want to meal prep certain days, if you want to dust on certain days, whatever you want to do, you could use it to rotate the cards. Or you could just use it for, this is what I have this week, and this is where I want to plug that in, and every day could be different. So those are just a couple ways you could use this planner, and you could put it wherever you wanted it. You could put it up in a prominent room where you do most of your chores, or you could put it in your office. You could even use it just for your job or your hobby, or if you do YouTube, you could use it to plan out your videos. So there's just some ideas for you. So those are my tips for you and my craft. Just wanted to show you the whole thing when it's done, so now you can see the whole board all at once. Thanks for joining me today. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, I'll link it below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing if you like my content. I also wanted to let you know that Christina from the DIY Mommy will have a playlist. I will also link it in my video so you can watch it after you watch my video. Go out and check out all the other creators' videos. I'm sure you'll get a lot of great ideas. There's a ton of creative people that's going to be participating in this. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.